Yeah, good morning, Mimi. Right. This is going to impact companies like Boeing, like Microsoft and Amazon and other tech companies and even other businesses that bring in workers from all across the world. So the White House is predicting that this is either going to protect or create about 525,000 American jobs as a result of this executive order. But major tech companies are saying this ban would get in the way of economic relief after the damage that has already been done as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. So on Twitter, Google's CEO said, quote, "Immigration has contributed immensely to America's economic success, making it a global leader in tech and also Google, the company it is today." It goes on to say he is disappointed by the decision and that his company will continue to stand by immigrants. So here's a look at the visas that are impacted. This will remain in effect through the end of the year, impacting tech workers, low-skill workers, students in exchange programs, au pairs, and more. The executive order would not affect certain visas for agricultural jobs in the healthcare industry. So many tech leaders are responding to this. You heard from Google's CEO. We've seen tweets from Amazon, tweets from Microsoft. So if you want to join in on the conversation or you just want to see those responses, all you have to do is find me on Facebook. Just search Kiara El Fallon TV. I'm live here in Renton, Kiara El Fallon, King 5 News.
All right, thank you so much, Kiara.